I will call the meeting to order now officially, and welcome. So for anyone viewing online or not, or looking at this later, this is the meeting of the Cohasset Harbor Committee. I'm just going to go through the roll call. George Baumgarten is here. Susan Bryant? Jeff Donzie? No. Grace Evans? No. Lori Gibbons? Here. Thank you. Derek Goodwin? Yep. Lisa Hewitt-Dick?
Here.
Mike Sardina?
Here.
Great. Thank you all very much for attending. Susan, I put minutes on the agenda, but we never sent out anything to review for the minutes. So we can defer this item to
20 reasons why you should have a new secretary. I apologize.
No, it's how about if we defer this item to our next meeting?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I was just looking for them and I couldn't find them.
Yeah, I forgot to remind you on that. And there we are. Summer happened. We'll move to the next item, Harbor Committee elections. I had the elections, we can hold them today, but or we can actually defer this too, but let's discuss. I put elections on here as we did last year. It's just an expectation of the town handbook and of the way we run the democratic process in Cohasset to hold elections for committees every year. And typically at a meeting following the May town meeting when people are here. We're missing a few folks. But anyway, just looking at what the election opportunity is for chair, vice chair, and secretary. Currently, I'm the chair. Lisa's the vice chair. Susan is the secretary. And I was talking with Mike earlier today and saying that in my working life over the past 30 or 40 years, my shining accomplishments have always been when I hired my replacement, or I hired somebody who achieved more in life than I ever did. So that is my hope at some point.
Sessions are.
That somebody aspires to the chair. And we have Jeff Donzie. Hi, Jeff. No, we just got started and we're talking about elections. I did ask in an email if folks on the committee are interested in a position, please, identify yourself, nominate. Lisa identified vice chair. She's interested in re-upping for that. On the secretary side, my discussion via email with you, Susan, was I love that you're secretary. I'd love for you to stay on, but you've done 2 years, and that's a good pull. And if somebody else would like to take over secretary, I thought that would be a welcome respite for you. Mm-hmm. How has been your experience of being secretary?
Yeah, I would love it if somebody else wanted to do it. I'm often procrastinate on these things that need doing. So.
Yeah.
Is it a little easier because we have voice to print now that one can just amend that?
Well, I'll say in my own personal Zoom takes notes, which I use extensively. When I'm taking notes. In the Cohasset Zoom, I don't think you have the Zoom AI companion turned on.
I don't think so. It might be a feature I can look into turning on.
That would be cool. I mean, I think that would make democracy easier, more accessible.
Well, I will say it's a great reference because right now the reference you have is simply what you heard in the meeting and what you're able to jot down. The notes that Zoom takes are voluminous. It's not a transcript, but they're long notes. Yeah. So it's just another resource. But the idea is that, it is the notes that are submitted from the secretary, however they're created, that form the official record that we post on cohassetmass.org.gov. So we have a good quorum for taking a vote. And we don't have to vote on everything, but I guess we'll just start with the business. Is there anyone who would like to nominate themselves or be nominated for chair? Yeah,
I nominate you for chair.
Second,
okay, thank you, Mike. I accept the nomination. Are there other nominations?
I'd like to nominate myself for vice chair.
Let me get to that. I'm gonna,
Okay.
okay, I
Oh,
will,
I'm
I
sorry.
will
I
do
thought you
that,
were-
but
I
I'm
thought
just
we-
gonna
I
do.
thought we were moving on.
No, I'm gonna do it one at a time. Jeff, Derek, Mike, anybody want to nominate themselves for chair of this committee?
I think you're doing a great
Hey.
job.
You beat me to it.
And Lori, in your position as ex officio, you unfortunately are stuck here as the ex officio, and that's that.
I have no choice. I have to be here,
But we're
unfortunately.
your favorite.
We do appreciate your being here. Well, seeing that there are no other nominees, I'll call a vote, and there's been a second. All in favor of George as chair, signify by saying aye. All right, vote was unanimous.
What, you didn't ask for any nays?
Well, it was a voice vote.
No, it's unanimous.
And so I would entertain nominations for vice chair, and I will nominate Lisa. Is there others who are interested in the role of vice chair? Don't everybody shout at
I was gonna
once.
say, it's a percentage.
There was a second. All in favor of Lisa as vice chair, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Secretary. Are there nominations for secretary?
I would nominate myself, but I'm already secretary of rec and I don't know if I can take on more.
Wow, but you have skills.
And they're being diluted.
But we have a future.
Maybe next year when
Yeah.
they vote me out, right?
Yeah, when your time is up.
Um,
Term ends.
Yeah.
yeah, we don't have everybody here. I mean, Jake is not here. Grace is not here. Jeff, any interest in the position?
I am horrible at taking notes notoriously yeah, it's not a good fit for me. Sorry.
No skills there.
Just, yeah, it hasn't been a good position for me, work or whatever. Not a good thing.
And Mike,
Yeah, I'm already secretary of the HOA where I live and it's a pain in the ass.
Okay, you all are buying me beers. That's how it's gonna go.
Oh, happily.
And then please say, Susan, you sit here and type and we'll start ordering.
what I'm thinking might be fair. Again,
Nominate Jake
not that-
and.
well, not that you're,
Nominate.
I don't like you doing this, Susan, but would you be
Don't
willing to
disagree
take
with me.
notes for this meeting?
Yes. Yeah.
And I think I would still like to try and defer the election for secretary to our next meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
That's a motion.
It's
Second that.
Okay, then,
Sounds like a good idea.
yeah, we can make it a motion. All in favor of Susan taking notes today and deferring election for secretary to our next meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's the
Thank
motion.
you, Susan.
Thank you for that, Susan. Appreciate it. And on that note, you have a note to look and see whether Cohasset can turn on Zoom note-taking capability.
Yes.
That would be great. I'm sure there's a lot, AI is a scary thing, but it's pretty good. Next on the agenda,
Can I ask a quick question before we go to the next agenda item?
yes, please.
It would be nice to finally fill those 2 fishermen slots
Mhm.
and, increase our body. Is there any thought about how we could do that or?
You might want to start with one.
Yeah.
Well,
I think a good aspiration.
No, it's a-
would be one.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at you, Lori, but to recap, we thought that the people who would be best at it, like a Mike Lane or an Adam,
So,
don't live here, but they'd be you know,
I
good
know-
at it. Is there anybody new that's come to mind from you?
Yeah,
Who wants to do it?
yeah.
Or that, even if we ask them?
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I know they made a big deal about having to be a town resident for the other appointees. I remember even when we amended it to include CMI and the Sailing Club and everything else. I'm wondering if that would hold true for the fisherman slot, if they're
Yes, it
fishermen.
does. It's already
does,
looked
okay.
into.
Just trying to see.
Well, no, I
Yeah.
agree. So the call it compromise we made is we agreed to invite
Mhm,
those
on a
two
regular basis,
guys on a regular basis and be attentive to
Their input,
their
right.
needs. What we haven't done is invited them. We haven't come up with an agenda item to
Right.
invite them to the meeting since the last time they were here, which it seems like it's
Mm-hmm.
about a year ago.
And
Uh,
I think that Mike even has a movie about him that someone shot. The Last Fisherman is that I forget, but who is it?
But,
By,
Brian Conforti's
Brian
brother,
Conforti, right,
Brian's brother.
okay.
Yeah,
But I mean, like the last time we met with them, they affirmed
constructive.
that, yes, a conveyor belt at Government Island would be good. They, they sort of affirmed that if Cohasset decides to invest in the harbor, that would be good. From
and
a,
so just to be clear, they can't be voting members because they can't, they're not residents.
we only have members.
Yeah.
Members either,
But we can,
they can't be members.
and our
because they're not
compromise is to
residents.
continue to invite them to our meetings and keep them abreast of issues and
Yeah.
hope that they comment and provide us with
I think they
input.
come anyway, they don't have to be invited.
They don't have to, but I think in order
It
to make it meaningful, we would need to have, I mean, the last time we came, it was sort of a primer on what do you do?
That was great.
What do you do and how do you make a living? And that was good.
Yeah.
I think if we, again, it's not part of elections, but if we,
And I did mean to go off and interject.
no, so why don't we add that at the end? Let's like just see if, I would love to have them come to our November meeting. I just don't want, I want it to be something that is, that they're addressing something of substance, to come here. Well, I mean, Lori, is there anything that comes to mind that the fishermen have or haven't been talking about, over the past few months? That is nothing controversial, nothing sort of same old at Government Island.
Are they
Nothing
concerned at all? Are they concerned at all about, or is it even an issue yet about the dredging out around the third football? They tackle them quickly.
No, hasn't come up as an issue yet.
You think it'll be one? Or
Has the channel filled in a bit more this summer?
No. It fills in the wintertime.
Yeah,
snowstorms and stuff?
It clears out in the summer,
yeah,
boating traffic.
that's what does it, huh? The boating?
Well, it helps.
Wow.
I'm gonna drive faster.
There you go.
It's actually the one
More
scraping,
frequently.
scraping the bottom still, you know?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, drive slow, but have a big prop.
did that a few times in that old Morgan.
Well, let's, so to this end, let's give it some thought. The other thing I could put on here is to contact those guys.
Yeah.
And see if they have a topic of interest, because we'd love to hear from fishermen. It's part of our charter. I'm speaking specifically of Adam and Mike. I'll take that as the juju. Before I do that, are those two active in the harbor in the summer or now?
Yeah.
They are. Okay. They're, okay.
Do you hear much from them at all about, other than maybe there's opinions, but it doesn't really affect their business, the oyster?
No, I don't talk to him.
I mean, this predates your being on the board, Jeff.
Okay.
What was very interesting about Mike Lane's presentation was all the different ways he's tried and in some cases succeeded in trying different elements of harvesting from the ocean, not just lobsters,
Yeah.
but doing various kinds of fishing to fill in gaps, or when the lobstering is closed down by the federal government. What do you do in the meantime? So All right, I will contact those guys. Thank you for raising that because
That's
it
great.
slipped my mind, in any case. Any other questions? I've been just racing through here.
Just since we mentioned dredging, is that on the, a
Well,
a year?
let's come to Harbor Master Report
Okay.
and let Lori say her due there, if you don't mind. Are you okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Um,
Do we want to go in order though?
yeah,
Okay, so
we'll just go in order. It's all right. Julia, would you be able to give us an update on CZM grants and also what Alternative Energy Committee is doing since you monitor that?
Yeah, definitely. So our CZM grant that we submitted is still under review and in the evaluation stage on the grant management portal website for the state. And hopefully we'll hear back in the next month or two regarding the outcome of that and if we're awarded. So I'll be in touch if we hear from them. I'll email you all.
We'll be very interested, yes or no, but yes.
Yeah. In case anyone's interested, there was another CZM grant that was submitted by the DPW director. I just pulled some information because we share the same portal, so we can see the multiple submissions that are done through the town. So he also, or the DPW also applied for a coastal resilience grant for wastewater treatment plant facility electrical improvements. So it's a phase 1 project, and they are implementing resiliency strategies to mitigate future flooding risks to critical town-owned electrical infrastructure at the wastewater treatment plant. So that has a slightly longer timeline than our project did. That's a 2-year grant. They were looking to pursue and had applied for. So that is also under review and in the evaluation stage. And in terms of Climate Leaders Program with the Alternative Energy Committee, they are looking to move forward with next steps on the requirements for that program. The next requirement that they're focused on right now is number 3, which is adopting a municipal decarbonization commitment. What they are looking to accomplish is bringing a resolution to town meeting, this special town meeting in the fall. And it's a non-binding resolution, and it is the town committing to net zero by 2050. And I think it's 30, by 2030, it's 50% net zero. So that will be going forward for special town meeting as a resolution. And then that being fulfilled as a requirement, if approved at special town meeting, they can then move forward with applying for technical assistance for a roadmap, which is a decarbonization roadmap.
But for the Climate Leaders Program.
Yeah, and this is all for municipal operations, so it's for municipal buildings and the schools. So that's their next steps forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions?
Is a request by DPW also associated with analysis of the whole James Brook area as part of a strategy for dealing with the electrical issues? Is it redundant to our other request in that respect?
So I pulled 2 items from his from DPW's submission to CZM. Their project description reads: the scope of this project includes bid documentation or bid document preparation, bidding and award services, construction and engineering services. During construction of the project will raise the critical wastewater electrical equipment out of the flood zone in the wastewater treatment plant building and the installation of a platform adjacent to the influent pump station. So I don't know exactly the
Yeah.
entire scope of the area.
Yeah, because what the
Yeah.
flood zone is the question, and that's,
Well, I think my understanding of this is, to your question, no, it is not redundant with what we're doing.
ours would be helpful.
It's complementary.
Yeah.
The good news is he's taking steps, which I would say a prudent
Yeah,
DPW manager
I agree.
would take no matter,
Mhm.
the risk is what, clear and present? You would do this. I had asked Julie and I's discussion about this because I had not seen it, but there was Brian Joyce presented at the select board probably a month ago on his concerns that came from that very large rainfall that I can't
Mm.
remember the date. But it was a rainfall that I think had a surprisingly high water flow into James Brook. And
Was it in April?
no,
recent, though.
it was more recent than that.
Yeah.
It was after our climate resilience forum. And I think Brian, I'm not sure I believe he thinks he knows some answers, and he very well may. He's an
Mhm.
engineer.
Mhm.
And I think he was looking at creating some holding
Tanks.
not tanks, but holding areas upstream of James Brook to slow the flow of water into the James Brook Meadow. And he was talking with select board about doing something about it. So that also, to me, would be helped
Mhm.
by the CZM study that the planning board has
So were
submitted
these
from us.
two grant requests going for the same pot of money? Or is it two different?
Same pot,
Okay, it's the same pot of money for two things coming from the same town.
which happened 2 years ago.
Okay,
So
I
that
just didn't wonder if
And it's
one
not-
pitted against the other.
And it's
if
not-
just-
It's not disallowed.
is not disallowed.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago,
but we-
the state
One
awarded,
hand didn't know what the other hand was doing.
No.
I said, yeah.
but the
That's fine.
state awarded probably it was Brian and the DPW, an award to, once again, do execution work. They were plugging the manholes in James Brook watershed so that stormwater wouldn't overwhelm them. And I think raising a few. So his grants seem to be execution grants, building and execution grants. Ours is still,
Analysis.
studies and analysis. That's what it seems. I think it's up to us to get Brian potentially to come here or we come there one way or another to collaborate more closely. I haven't specifically made that effort. But I think that would be another good topic
Mhm.
for our meeting if Brian's willing to do that.
It might be a positive thing,
Oh,
see
I
that
think
there's
so.
Commitment to this by the Commonwealth.
Well, the other piece that I see to this sort of playing forward, we're going to hear about these grants, the grant that we helped sponsor, either yes or no. If it's yes, it would be great to get together with DPW.
Mm.
If it's no, it'd be great to get together with the DPW. One way or another.
Tell you is in our future.
Yeah, no, I think, we're going to either have plan A or plan B, but the climate's not waiting for grants.
Right.
So, getting to alternative energy, we had that flurry of conversation with Barbara Russell. I think it was our March meeting.
Mhm.
Talking about climate leaders, we expressed our interest and willingness to collaborate where it made sense. There are, very, very different sort of focuses. It's decarbonization, what is it? Oxygen. I don't know. They have a whole different nomenclature in alternative energy than we even deal with. But my feeling at the time, and Barbara Russell seconded it, was, developing critical mass in this town around climate resilience related issues could be to our benefit. So I think we're wait and see on that. But they're probably going to, hope that we can contribute to a vote yes at the special town meeting
Definitely.
to support. They can't move forward with a climate leaders program if they don't get a yes on that vote. So
When is that special town meeting again?
November?
I'm sure it's on the church, the town website, but,
So we have a little time before then. We have, another me-
we have
we'll
another-
have another meeting
we have
before
another
then.
meeting, yeah.
And Grace Evans is online.
Yeah, I'm sure it's probably even, oh. Love that. You bringing her in?
Yep, she's in.
Oh, good.
Hey, Grace.
Oh. You're on mute, Grace.
I have some very noisy dogs in my house, so I'll probably stay that way, but
Well, Grace, you're jumping right in. She said she might attend late.
Mhm.
Grace, welcome to Cohasset Harbor Committee.
thank you.
And Grace is the Cohasset Yacht Club representative. Martin did a great job with us, and it's the Yacht Club's policy to turn that position over with some level of regularity. And so Grace, we appreciate you being here, and we're going to talk over meeting dates and other stuff so that you have more notice on that before we end tonight. But I'm wondering, Grace, if you wouldn't mind just telling us a little bit about your new role in the Yacht Club and how that may or may not relate to Harbor Committee.
Oh, well, yeah, so my new role at the yacht club, my current role at the yacht club is as a vice commodore, which
Okay.
is just an interim, we just had a few staffing movements, and so that's why I'm filling in. I've been commodore, but now I get demoted to vice commodore. Yeah,
Here.
and, but I'm not going back up
I
the
know.
chain. We're done there. But I have been on Harbor Committee because I've been vice commodore before,
Right.
so, and I'm super interested in, would like to contribute to this committee. So going forward, I'll have to see, I may be out of this job come November. Although maybe not, we'll see. So, and,
But
in town
I
for a
was
long time.
extrapolating a little bit, Grace, that the Yacht Club likes to have, I guess, folks who are leadership in the Yacht Club represent them on town committees like this. Is that accurate?
Well, I think that we are very interested in the harbor, as a user group, and just kind of want to stay abreast of what's going on and help where we can.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining. She's gone through the same process everybody else did, which is get her submitted for candidacy and interviewed by the select board. Now you're on. Anytime we do a vote, Grace, you're part of the committee, so
Great.
you're on.
Okay.
We are going through the agenda that I sent out a couple days ago, and we are now on. We've just finished talking about the CZM grant status. Next on the agenda is
And sorry, did we finish talking about the climate leaders?
uh,
Any points about that?
we can pause there. Are there any questions about Julia's update or climate leaders or CZM status beyond what we've discussed? Thank you for prompting, Susan.
Okay.
Do you have anything, Susan?
No, I'm just.
No, that's good. Thank you. I just racing through. Thank you for reminding me how to chair a meeting because I need it. Next on the agenda, cohassetmass.gov, review new harbor access content. And I'm wondering, I guess, Julia, starting with you, status of where we are. And then maybe we'll have a little discussion with Jeff and others and start it up. Why don't you start with status?
Yeah, so status, we have a linked tab under visiting under the community tab.
Actually,
So
could you show it?
yeah.
And just, we blasted through this. Jeff, you're the one who raised this as, I think, your first contribution to Harbor Committee. And drafted some content. I made a few edits to it. We're still soliciting edits because, the content is as good as Jeff dreamed up and I edited, sort of. So,
Thanks for your additional.
well, but there's
some points that,
yeah.
that I think work well. But yeah, let's take a look at what it's at.
So it's not populated, it's just
Oh, okay. You
So
don't,
I
the
haven't-
text is not in.
But
there.
actually, if you go, so this is what at least I suggested is a good place to put it, which is under community.
Okay,
That Cohasset Harbor button, if you click on it, doesn't go anywhere, but
Oh.
that's brand new.
okay,
So that it's not a Harbor Committee resource, it's a community resource, this information
Sure.
we're putting up.
makes sense.
And I think we talked with Julia, we may link to it from the Harbor Committee website, but it's more principally here.
Sure, when it says community living and visiting, I mean, makes sense. It's in something in that context. So as you know, the part of when I, sort of presented the execution of the idea initially, or the draft execution, it included a story map. And I've talked before about that we really can't stand up a story map using CSCR sort of license access for that GIS app. One thought I had was just to actually, in the interim, before the town gets, the town is standing up ArcGIS, right? So we could create a story map through that, or get the students at CSCR if they wanted to do a story map. The whole point of using CSCR is you need to use students.
Yeah.
As a student project, right? So one interim thought I had is I could just create a static image of the map, like a PDF, so we could still have a map there.
Yeah.
Until, we worked,
Next step.
worked on the, getting the live GIS going. Either, through talking to Jack at CSCR, and whether there's a student group that might want to do that, or, whether there's the town website gets spun up and then I could recreate it there. But yeah, so.
I think my recollection, when you originally presented this idea, you did a story map that was, I mean, I was sort of immediately taken by the story map as a much more interesting presentation than a Word doc.
Right, but I think in the interim, it's nice to be, at least get that
I'll have
text
something.
up there, and
Yeah.
we have pictures of the various locations around the harbor that are.
Will you also had or have a link to a story map about Bassing's Beach?
Yes, that exists. It's through the Cohasset Conservation Trust
Mhm.
website is where that is, where we had a student project to support that.
Yeah. I mean, to me,
Yeah.
I guess I'm
Just one other thing that might be interesting as another link or just information is through this, I'm on the Cohasset Conservation Trust Board, and then one of the things that we're just finishing a project, another summer project with CSCR. It's really, they've done a great job on this story map, is about, and there's a little bit of a harbor connection here, is that we're finishing up a project to sort of demonstrate the conservation measures around Lily Pond, which is our water supply, right? Or part of our connected water supply, the reservoir, but the treatment plant there is. And so what we're showing primarily is that Cohasset Conservation Trust and the properties have been conserved around Lily Pond have a hand in preserving good water quality,
Yeah.
along with the measures of the town's conservation areas. And then, of course, Aaron River Reservoir with all the Wampatuck, as conservation or open space that's protected. But one of the maps in the story map that the students did, it's kind of cool, is they actually show the connection all the way for Boundbrook, right? All the way out around to the Gulf
Nice.
River, and actually show the flow into the Gulf River. And then that there are some more conservation properties, more when you get into the Gulf River CCT. So that story map should be up and running on our CCT website in the next month or two. And so we could also have a link to that, I guess.
So if we link to those, we are licensed.
I was thinking
Because it's going to a licensed version of GIS that can
Well,
change
students
things.
produce the map.
Yeah.
So it's fair game, I think, then to use the link. But I was thinking the open space committee would be a good place for that link in terms of the town, this is beyond CCT. Again, there's a CCT
No,
and
I
CSCR
yeah.
partnership of projects that we get them, the student groups, to do to help us sort of, use GIS to present the work of CCT.
Yeah,
But, I think it also could be a resource, through CSCR and, for the Harbor Committee, and various things we might do down the road too.
I-
Sorry.
no, I
Elaborate.
love the,
Sounds really
I
cool.
love the idea of, if we have this good work, and particularly if students are doing good work,
Yeah,
but there's no distribution for it, or there's
Right.
little distribution for it. If it could be made accessible through
Absolutely.
distribution via the town website,
right.
sort of the next step, and you guys said this, I sent around, and you may have seen the article in Cohasset
Mhm.
Anchor, where, for better, or for worse, there's an article saying we're gonna produce this stuff.
Oops.
No, I mean,
And so.
We start
Timeline.
with, we start with the text and the pictures.
Yeah.
We're on
Yeah.
the, and then if I, made a PDF or something of the map, and as a static image, we could put that there.
But so where I'm going with that is not bad. Putting something up is good.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty confident that it's, that the Cohasset Anchor or other pubs would want to
Launch it.
help us
Yeah.
promote the new resources.
Yeah,
and
great.
Particularly in an area.
What this is just a sort of harbor recreational opportunity. So it had, sailing club, CSCR, CMI, yacht club.
You have the.
And
Word
so
document.
it's sort of a,
I don't have. I
you know,
can't pull it up.
adding
Right.
sort of
I
information
can-
about
No.
sites around the harbor where you have recreational access and opportunity primarily, and educational, I guess.
Well, there is a point with Grace as you're re-explaining this. So in each section that you drafted, Jeff.
Yeah.
You asked that the appropriate representative here on this committee review their section. Lisa for CMI, it was Martin for Yacht Club.
Yeah.
I think another opportunity to get that article to Grace and see the write-up on the Yacht Club. What we're trying to do with this, we heard a year ago in the recreation survey that we sponsored, is that there's a good bit of mystery to a lot of townspeople on how you get to the harbor and how you access it and what you can use, and
Oh, yeah.
particularly public places.
Well, and there was the town docks that you have, the kayak docks that were mentioned as another example, Grace. So it was,
Yeah.
It's
wherever
a
there
nice
was
little
opportunity.
directory, Grace, of the various places. So.
Yeah.
So
Can I
maybe
ask a
as a
question?
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, just, this is very detailed, but would we consider putting in, like water quality information? Like
That's
current,
that's a different, for me, that's a different thing.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you, do you think that's important to, because if you are gonna get access that,
do you actually want to go swimming off of Bassings or?
yeah, right.
But as Board of Health, Harbor Committee typically hasn't,
CSCR.
or CSCR.
That's our data. we
Right.
Data,
collect the water.
who's promoting it?
So,
Board of Health.
so we collect the water samples.
Yes.
We split the water samples. Half of
Yep.
it goes to GNL lab and half of it we process in our lab.
Yep.
And then we have our results, and both of them go back to the Board of Health. If she
Yep.
has a question, she comes to us and we
Did she post
retest.
it? I mean, is it posted anywhere on a regular basis?
Sure is if we're
I know your
closed.
flags and stuff, which are
Would
really
it-
important, but I wonder if
It's posted.
Would
okay.
it be an idea to, just in the CSCR section of this, what CSCR does, have a little link to the web map you guys have up for the bacteria count?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or I don't know, what do you think?
I don't know that we have it up yet. I mean, we usually focus on, so CSCR's
Okay.
calendar year is usually focused on getting the results to the townspeople at State of the Harbor, which is usually somewhere between March and May.
Yeah.
But I can bring this to
I think it-
Jack and Doc T.
I
And
think it's right, though. It's just, that's the Board of Health information. That's.
so there's, there's
Several.
two different things. There's bacteria counts, and that's one project that's
Yeah.
strictly the bacteria. And then there's the ones that Doc T and her group do, and that's nitrates and phosphates and optical brighteners, which are an indication of sewage leaking into the system.
So I guess getting back, Grace, to your question, as we're just trying to promote information about the harbor, current, until you asked the question, we weren't looking at,
Good idea.
looking at water quality as something that we do. And I do see that as a, not something we take on. We're more pulling together information provided by CSCR, the
But-
Board of Health and others, because we're not a producer of it and don't sort of have a point of view of it on it either, other than
But maybe
what it
that's,
is.
maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe it should go under the access thing under CSCR because we're not really a recreational organization. We are a research organization. So it sort of helps make that case if we have a link to our research there. So people don't confuse us with running a camp.
So I guess
But they're
to Jeff, I don't think you've received any comments from Susan about the CSCR paragraph. Is that accurate?
Last time I looked at it, it looked pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe just say CSCR. I think maybe if to have text that CSCR does this kind of research is good. I don't know, but it's a good idea to have a link though,
I have a lot.
to the map.
Well,
Because of the updating or,
Yeah,
Because it's
updating and then
through,
conflicting with where that information should come from townspeople, which is the Board of Health. You know,
Yeah, although
They're
if
the
I
ones
was,
that tell me to shut everything down.
Right.
yeah,
What a health does.
yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
They're with
Right.
G&L
right,
results.
yeah.
But do they post it on a regular basis on their website?
I
And there's-
believe they do,
yeah.
and it's on the state website.
Right.
Yeah.
It goes on the
right,
state
right.
right away.
So I'm just wondering if we could have a link, just
I
a
th- I
link
think-
to the public, to the Board of Health, on.
I mean, we could put that in this
Yeah,
article
yeah, that's what
because
I'm thinking.
if you, well, I suggested that, this community and living thing, just say Cohasset Harbor. So it's a very broad umbrella of what you put under it. Our focus has been on the access stuff. That
Right.
was your original comment. And just to say,
I don't
we're,
really want to make this site be much more than that. But you can have under CSCR, just mention that they do research in terms of water quality. And you can check their website out for, well, we have a link to their website, so you can go to their website. So, yeah,
so currently what our next steps on this topic are that Jeff sort of gave the blessing a couple weeks ago saying, I haven't heard any more comments. Julia, can you post it? Julia starting to work on that, found a place for it, and it's going to take the Word document, which is currently what we have, and get it posted.
and
However,
I can get you a PDF of the map,
but
so we have a static image of the map. So it'd
before
be
we,
a Map reference, sorry.
no, I'm saying before we post, it's not going to go live immediately. You can create a place on the website with a private link, send that to us for review, and then I guess receive our hearing nothing, post it live, or, whatever we want to do. So, but we're at the stage where we're taking the content that's been minorly edited, since March and trying to at least get that first draft
Yeah.
up live.
Oh, good.
And we have some pictures to go with it. And it sounds like, why don't you produce that PDF and get it to Julia? And Julia, what's your take on next steps, given this discussion? Is that,
Yeah, that sounds great.
and something that can be done relatively soon?
Yes.
So you'll get something done and then communicate out to the group saying, I posted it, I've created it, a draft, here's the link. Get back to me with comments, questions.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to do that in between now and the next meeting.
Great.
Okay.
We're going to just move it forward. And if we can go live with it, we don't need anything else. We just need this group to say the content looks good, or forever hold your peace, and then we'll go live with it. I do love the idea. I don't know how you're going to take it forward to make this information come alive through story maps. I think that it was compelling when you first showed it.
Well, I think I'll talk to Jack. That sounds good to you, Susan.
Mhm.
And see if there's a student project, because I think that it's always a win-win when you have CSCR and doing something, working with town.
And you tell them that, we're gonna push it up on a town website or a link to it, and we're gonna get promotion from various publications,
All right,
it would have some legs to it.
that's good.
Good. Other comments or questions about this topic before we leave it? Thank you. Next, we have the Harbor Master Report. Lori, you have the floor.
Boating season's winding down. It was a good year. People are starting to take boats out. No real problems.
Docks are as they are. Are you building any new docks for next year or no? And no moorings have to, well, you take out, what do you do with moorings in the winter? They stay put
They stay put.
unless there's a dredging project where they have to be moored.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. You had mentioned, I think at an earlier meeting that Army Corps came in to do some,
A
Quick-
survey of the harbor. You know, depths, water depths.
okay. Does anything come of that or it's just information?
It's something they just do on a regular basis. Every, I don't know, 3 years or something.
Okay,
And it just shows where things are filling in.
okay.
And,
They include the channel in that
yes, they do. Yep. They go all the way out to
Whitehead or
Uh,
something.
Red 8. Yeah. Up to the Dolphin 8, good one. All the way in, so it's not too bad. Results.
Have you heard anything? It was in the news that the Coast Guard was thinking of reducing some of the navigation buoys and other stuff that's out there.
We are not losing anything. Situate's losing. Situate has stuff that's on the docket to be removed, but nothing in Cohasset's being removed.
Wow, okay, that's good.
We have a history of shipwrecks, don't we? That might be a good idea to keep one
But when you're out there, it's nice to see all those buoys and know that they're well placed.
inside the harbor.
Yeah.
This one's-
The ones outside, the
Really?
SA buoy,
The which one? Marseille?
SA buoy, inlet buoy, new inlet. Yeah, but I don't know if it's gonna, they're gonna lose their buoys, I don't know. It's just on the list of possible removals.
Okay. Well,
We don't have anything on the list.
thank you for that. That's good. Before we leave this topic, are there questions for Lori? I have related stuff in the next topic that I want to bring up, but it's sort of open discussion with Lori. We're good? We're good, Grace? Thank you. Then the next topic is actually based on a bit of a discussion I had with Lori, but I wanted to sort of bring it up so that everybody's aware. Review initiatives and 2025 priorities. These are things that we have discussed over the past number of meetings. And Lori had some, I thought, good information to share. So we discussed, proposed dinghy pier extension at Parker Avenue. Originally raised the idea of creating more dock space in Cohasset has been floating around this committee for a while. And then this particular, Lori's idea of extending the Parker Avenue dock by 100 feet. Good idea, but then was stymied by the impasse with Situate, who owns what in that part of the harbor. That being said, I think that issue is resolved, but and Lori, please correct me, but I think the last you found out about it was just doing the engineering on it is a potential $200,000 cost.
Correct, I was shocked by the
Wow.
cost.
Yeah.
More than it would cost for the docks.
Jeez.
And the mooring.
So what do they need to engineer to add that? Is that a bathymetry thing or is it go down into the mud and look for the granite again or?
Well, it would be putting like 3 pilings in. Hold the dock.
Yeah.
To go bigger, we have to have piling
Uh-huh.
to hold it.
And so that 200,000 is including to pile, drive
I
the
don't
piles
know,
or
I
just
don't-
just
I
the plan?
just- The planning and the permitting, and we were shocked by the cost.
And is that kind of work that Foth Engineering is a,
That's
A
the
vendor
quote, the
who does
quote
that.
came from Fox.
okay. Who's been a pretty good vendor for you to work with, right? So they're a good partner and they're not, their stuff is reasonably believable.
So was the idea of the extension to go towards sailing clubs? Yeah. I think way it could go, right?
Right.
Um, so I think you suggested, and I think this is an opportunity for us, is that in order for that to happen, there has to be a town meeting resolution to do that. This is not the town meeting to do that. We don't do that work at November special meetings. That kind of appropriation would happen at the town meeting in May. And this kind of work, because it's to me directly related to recreation and open space, would be a candidate for funding from CPC funds. That's what I would expect.
What condition are the CPC funds in these days?
I don't know.
I mean, because I know that's real estate based and I know it's, I just wonder how much they have to work with these days.
I think it's healthy.
Okay.
And it's self-funding still.
Yeah, there used to be a lot of contribution, matching
the
contribution from the
state.
state, and I don't know if that's still true. I know there's a lot of discussion about that. I just wanted it'd be interesting to, I'll look it up.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
they certainly were funding stuff last May
Mhm.
and they keep funding stuff.
So was a survey that we did regarding use of the harbor, one that went out to
Yeah.
the whole community, does that support this? I mean, that would be our ammunition
Mhm.
I mean,
relative to this is not just a pipe dream. There's actually X number of people in a survey that was provided on an X date that shows that this is a viable desire by townsfolks that they want more dock space and use of the harbor.
I mean, I would say it's supported by two things. It's supported by that for sure. We have data. And it's supported by the idea that this harbor committee thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And we've discussed it a lot and we're trying to, and I think Lori's solution has found sort of the best unused space in the harbor that has infrastructure already to do it. And is arguably the least expensive of any solution that's come up with, given that you have to do these engineering studies. So, Noel had brought up idea but that was a brand new pier that would have been crazy money compared to what we're talking and not as big.
So would this be, should we think about whether this, if it does indeed cost $200,000, whether that might be something to be borne by the people that are using the dock? It's a pretty high price.
Well, it's just the engineering part. too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's not even the docks.
I mean, the way these things are being done all over town, you want to build new Beechwood fields, you want to build Milliken fields. You start with CPC, that's who
Yeah.
pays for it. You're not gonna have, there aren't any customers for a town facility like this,
Yeah.
other than the town. But I raise it because, I mean, that's my view.
People pay dinghy fees,
Well,
supposed to.
Yeah, but not 200,000. We'd never live long enough to raise $200,000.
It's a small harbor, it's a premium. I mean, it's a premium harbor. It's really,
It's a public access
yeah,
asset.
it's a public dock thing.
Yeah.
it's not public if it's your own dinghy and nobody else gets to use it. It's pretty darn private.
I'm saying.
mean, if you
that
think
the
about it.
structure would be a
dock
public
is-
asset,
The-
Right.
Yeah,
Public dock.
Right, but it seems like if you're gonna make a public dock actually publicly accessible, if it's a dinghy dock, then we would need public dinghies or something on there that actually increases access.
it's
to
called a
other
dinghy
than-
pier, but the whole.
You understand what I'm saying, though?
I do, but
I'm-
don't take
I mean,
it,
I-
don't take it literally that it's only for dinghies that are private.
Well, what else is it for?
CMI, bringing their boats, rowboats in all the time and tying up the dock.
Yeah, or people coming in from Basing's Beach, it's for tying up. right now, the
I
only
yell
place
from every
people tie up is the sailing club, which actually doesn't really want people doing that.
Right.
Ties up, I didn't know anybody.
People come in all the time to the sailing club to let passengers
Yes.
in off,
all
Oh,
the
I didn't
time.
know that.
all the time.
Yeah.
That-
How much would, I
Van.
mean, I know you would never hold you to something, but at 200,000 for the engineering, what would be all in? I mean, are we talking 5 million? I mean, I just
No,
have
no.
no idea how much something
What it
costs.
costs, you know what it costs a foot for,
Yeah.
the floating docks,
Well,
roughly?
it sounds like driving the
Pillars
you know,
over.
the piers. That sounds like
Yeah.
that's what costs the money.
The pilings are,
Pilings.
cost about 25,000 apiece. And that may be in the 200,000. I don't
So,
remember
but it-
correctly.
What
And
would-
then the docks are above that.
So would.
But
what
the
if
whole
you-
dock, 100 feet
One-
dock is that.
What if it was, you went for half the amount of space, like 50 feet?
We still need to do all the engineering and
No, I understand.
permitting. That
I
won't
understand.
really change. The docks are not the expensive
No, I
part.
understand. But
It's the
but
engineering
The
and the
engineering.
pilings.
The
Okay,
infrastructure, of it, yeah.
Um,
And none of the engineering that was done for the ramp overflows in the area wide enough to be useful. Boy.
no,
Been nice
no.
if we'd gotten it all done at once.
that was two separate things,
Yeah, I know.
two entirely separate things.
So I guess my reason for bringing this up, it's something we wanted to do, and my proposal would be if you're good with it, Lori, is that in collaboration with you, we pursue this for the 2026 annual meeting and potentially assist as necessary with the submission to the Community Preservation Act, assuming that maybe where the funding comes from, if you need that assistance. But
We'll see.
I would love to try and pursue it to execute on something like this.
I just have to make sure we're within the Army Corps boundaries as well
Okay.
on it.
And that sort of falls into federal permitting or something?
You cannot interfere, a dock cannot interfere with a mooring field.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that.
Considering you know where the moorings are.
Yeah. They dredge, but Army Corps dredges.
Okay.
You can't interfere with that. You have to, there's a setback.
Okay.
Oh.
But in addition to helping with the application, I think anything you need, Lori, I think that's what George is trying to suggest that, to promote this at town meeting or whatever, any way you think that we can.
Yeah, I mean, even if you end up
Yeah.
doing the writing it, we need the townspeople to vote for it. And it is my assumption that it's CPC funding. I can't
That's
think
what
of,
I would think.
I can't think of any other funding source for this.
Town doesn't have funding.
Yeah.
Never has that. No discretionary money for stuff.
Doesn't CPC only put in 50%?
No.
No,
No.
they'll
Nope.
do soup to nuts.
Mhm.
It's our tax dollars at work, or at least somebody's real estate sales dollars at work. Let's move to the next. So the government wharf conveyor installation. Somewhat a question to you, Laura. You said that there's no the money. We talked about this, that there was a fiscal glitch or hang up that was preventing
Right.
the use of this money, and that actually did get resolved at the May annual town meeting after, it was addressed through some technical financial
Yeah, they
mechanism.
just had to change the wording.
Yeah, so that happened.
Mhm.
And now, I'm assuming, again, given what we've talked about with the fishermen, that this is still something that would be a benefit to them. It would still be a big benefit hauling stuff up to Government Island, to the wharf.
Yep.
What is all of this on you and your office to get it done? Or is there like work that Michelle Leary or others in the
No, I
town?
have to talk to town manager first.
And probably redo the bids on how much this is gonna, how much it
We
would
have to
cost.
see. Once, yeah, we're gonna have to find out. Has the price of the steel and aluminum and stainless become so
but-
astronomically high that we can't do it?
Ugh.
And that may be
Yeah.
the glitch.
Yeah, so you're like every other United States business. You have no idea how much things are gonna cost going forward.
Right.
Okay, so
When I was having the gangway for the fisherman dock rebuilt this spring, the price of the aluminum went up $1,400 in one day.
did you get it? Did you get it done?
We got it done, yeah,
And you paid
But-
whatever the going rate was?
yep, cause they would only quote for one day at a time.
Mhm.
Ah, oh my God.
So you had to, yes, and order it right then and there.
Yeah,
And it's just, all of it's continuously gone up. There's no play in it.
well, I mean, the tariffs,
Tariffs.
it's all about tariffs and whether they're on or off and whether you're getting it from Canada or some other place. Yeah,
Yeah, so we just have to.
okay. All right.
We're gonna be able to afford it.
All right, so your next steps on that are with you talking to town manager. And then the other topic I had was Harbor Master Hut, also a topic of discussion. At one point, we had thought that an appropriation for that would be lumped in with the fire safety building.
Right, my office will, I don't think will be put in the harbor master office in with the public safety building.
I'd say the way the conversations are going with that would be to your benefit.
You mean, I'm sorry, are you talking about the funding for it or the, okay, obviously you
Yeah,
won't personally.
The $17 million price tag.
Right.
Seems to be problematic.
Yeah,
So
so meanwhile,
have to figure out where we can get funding for that.
is it still a possibility that South Shore Votech would have a hand in
Oh, they wanna do it.
doing the
Yeah.
work?
They wanna
They
do
still
it.
want to do it.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, so they'll do the carpentry and the electrical.
Amazing.
We have to pay to have my present office taken down.
Yeah.
And have a new pad. Slab put down.
Yeah.
And
and it's still in the plan to have showers for transient boaters?
we will have a bathroom, yes, for the transients with the shower, one shower.
Mhm.
And we have to pay for the plumbing, the HVAC, and the insulation as well.
And you're paying for the materials for the Votech, right?
And we pay for the materials of the building, yeah.
Yeah, you just don't have to pay the labor that they do.
Yeah, there is a slight charge, but
Okay,
it's more
Okay.
of a bus fee to,
Mhm.
so
Why isn't this considered part of a recreation thing that CPC would have a?
Harbor Master Hut?
Yeah.
Oh,
my office, the office.
Well,
I mean,
don't think-
you're managing the recreation of the harbor in a sense.
well, it's managing the commercial lobster fleet and all the operation of the harbor.
I don't know.
I'm not saying it
It
could
might
be
a-
done,
it
but
might be a stretch, but it's worth.
I know, I was thinking about that too, because it's very historic harbor.
no, I mean,
There you go.
It's
Maybe it's a
open space.
historic, maybe it's a.
Very open
historic
space.
hut.
well, I mean, yeah, this isn't far-fetched. I mean, if you have nothing to
Open space
lose,
and recreation,
Yeah.
under both.
I
you
mean,
know?
I don't know.
actually, I mean, I see a challenge if you supported it by saying we're putting in showers for transient boaters, people would say,
Why that?
what, yeah, why that, even
Well,
though it is a common courtesy
That's not part of it,
Right.
it's just
in all
funding for
harbors, right?
Recreation, right?
some funding for part of it then.
It's not far-fetched. If this fire safety
nothing
thing
to
becomes
lose.
a hot item.
It's worth a discussion with the CPC committee
I think so.
to see if they would
I
consider.
mean, what's the worst that can happen? No?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just playing around here and looking, while we're talking about the various things that have been funded this year. You know, the HVAC systems, pergola for the Cohasset Elder Affairs. Let's see, archival storage. I mean, I know that's on the
This
historical.
is what's
but-
coming out of
Yeah,
CPC.
yeah, this year. I just was playing around.
So really
hoping that they
exciting,
get-
exciting
Yeah,
items here, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, they are,
exactly.
they are.
Riveting.
No, they're important for who's
Whoever
asked
needs
for
them
it.
or wants them. But I think that law was written very broadly so that communities could have the discretion to apply to what they want.
Now, that being said, it's
yeah.
not at all far-fetched to say
Right.
that the harbor master has a huge role in
In
harbor recreation in the
Right.
summer. It also does lots of other stuff for the
Mhm.
commercial world, but that would be justified alone based on safety
Right.
supplied to the recreational boating
Mhm.
community on it. That could be the justification right there.
And once again, do we have a clue how much it would be? You know, are we talking, to build it?
Oh, like 200.
I mean, even with those
Brings the
expenses,
same
you still have
amount.
to plummet to
Yeah.
insulate it to,
The same amount as the engineering of 3 pilings.
No, yeah, no, yeah,
200.
It's just about right. Yeah.
well, but and you also have to, because your town building has to be paid for with
and
prevailing
unions, right.
wage and all
Yeah.
that fun
right,
stuff.
that's why if we do vote tech,
Yeah, you can get under.
Well, at least that part of it,
right,
you
And
But
avoid.
that's most of it though, right?
that's the bulk of it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the
Plumbing
kid's
isn't
amazing.
that much.
Yeah,
But the guys who tear it down, the people putting in the pad, those are all being under
That's
Cohasset
but they can
prevailing
do
wage.
destruction too. I mean, they can do demolition too, can't they? Both sides?
DPW? Oh,
No,
vote tech?
yeah.
No,
Okay.
no, they won't do,
Yeah.
no.
Is there any way to link this to the dock system?
Yeah,
Go for
Well,
all one? all
I
one
mean,
shot?
I like your idea, Lisa, that we talk with,
Yeah, who's
community
who's chair
preservation.
These days, I don't even know.
Tom Reardon,
Pardon me?
Tom Reardon, isn't Tom Reardon chair?
One moment, please. I'll see what else I get here.
I was gonna ask that too, if we're now looking at 2 things that we want to talk to CPC about, and they're both interesting to lead $200,000. Do we, as a committee, have a priority?
Tom Ritter, right?
Um,
on those?
I think
That
we
is-
we talk with them, we get their advice on how to structure this.
Tom Reardon, Mary.
And if we had to choose, like, do we want to discuss whether if we had to choose?
I think we cross that bridge when we get there. If they tell us that you guys need to prioritize or choose, then we'll do that. But the first thing to do is figure out
Eligibility.
eligibility, how would you structure it?
Mhm.
What's the deal with going for it in May of 26?
Mhm.
Great idea.
Susan you keep saying $200,000 for the dock, but that's just the engineering, right?
Yeah.
So there's, yeah,
The dock is going to be a 2-step, one to do the engineering,
Right.
and then second to do the
Sorry,
building.
Yeah,
And that's probably another 200,000 to drive
About
piers,
50.
but to drive the piers.
Well, that may be included in the 200.
Okay, if that was done, then that would be,
Dogs about 50.
because they're 500 a foot? No,
somewhat
But-
about
but-
250.
no, whatever you said they're 50,000.
the
So
whole
for the whole
project,
thing, maybe
yeah.
250,000.
Yeah.
That's all I was trying to get at.
Well,
and the docks don't have any plumbing or electricity.
all I'll say is we know not to make the mistake of swagging the estimates.
Right.
At least before we go public.
Yeah.
But as an order of magnitude, I think it's reasonable to
Mhm.
say, that, we're looking at this stuff. Those were the initiatives and priorities I had here. Are there other questions or comments on these particular or any others that you're aware of or questions from the past?
Not that I can think of.
Just one question I have is, any updates that we know of, maybe the planning department with the boatyard hotel project thing?
I thank you for that. I made some calls this week to try and find out an update on what's going on. I'll share starting from that. So it's 82 Border Street is the what's it called? Mill River Marine.
Mhm.
and where the current lobster pound is. So what's going on with that is it received town approvals, what, either earlier this year or last year. So town approved the plan, and we reviewed it as a group. Susan Hoadley and group
Mhm.
came in and showed it to us. Where they now are is in state approvals. So they've submitted through, I guess, their lawyer and civil engineer, they're in state approvals through various state agencies.
So 91.
I asked that, it's 91, there's a number of agencies that have to weigh in. And I didn't get the details on that, but the upshot of it is the same sort of level of time uncertainty as the Harbor Cohasset condos were, which is went into state review. And when it comes out, you'll know. But that took 6 to 12 months.
It continues on a track of being not water dependent use. It's be a hotel. It won't really contribute to the harbor per se. I know last time you said, well, there's gonna be a harbor walk, but
Well, I
you know.
think it's a very different use, but it's way better public access than we have now.
To get around.
And okay, so if you're not, so that is what it is. It's not, my opinion is probably not worth much, but it was approved by the town. I personally like what they're doing, but so just to finish where it stands, the assumption is that it will at some point get state approval or by and large, the plan they submitted, they'll make whatever adjustments they have, and then they'll move forward into construction. If you look at the time frame on that, I think that the thing to state approval could come anytime, but let's assume it's 6 to 9 months from now. It's possible that could be under construction next year, and you would see a final product in 2 years.
Oh, well.
And how long have they been working on Atlantica?
Well, so I talked about that as well. This is done under different auspices. You remember with Atlantica, they could only invest so much at a given time without triggering federal FEMA regulations that would require them to meet
Percentage, right?
FEMA regulation, basically raise Atlantica up 12 feet and do the stuff, which actually then kills the whole project. So they've structured this very long construction in order to not trigger the federal regulations, which would cause them to have to change the whole project. That being said, the project, anybody who's seen it, it's definitely coming along very slowly, but it's coming along. There's not a plan to open phase 1. When we took our tour, there was a phase 1, which is a small retail space and public open space. Instead, phase 1 is essentially done, and they're moving straight to phase 2, which is the development of the Cohasset side of the building, which will include a fine restaurant. That's still in the plan. And part of the reason they're not opening up phase 1 is the whole parking lot's going to be a construction zone to get phase 2 done.
Yeah.
And you can't really do both of those.
So
Right.
they're there, right?
The aspiration and possible expectation is that phase 2 will be done in it and the whole complex will open early next summer.
Mhm.
That's that would be nice, but that's what we know. I talked also with the folks that manage Harbor Cohasset. Oh, I'll just say the whole leasing and retail space is being managed there. There was nothing to disclose about who any of the vendors or proprietors would be in that space. Probably hard to get those folks if you can't predict when it's going to be available. But that being said, that gets to talking about the Salt House. That is, you've seen the banner. It says it's going to open sometime.
It's heartbreaking.
No, but it's apparently, I did have a note on this.
Also,
I mean, the same sign's been there for 8 or 9 months.
It has. There's been delays related to fabricating a new kitchen hood and having a dedicated sprinkler system to just the side of the building that is owned by that is not owned by Cohasset Wharf.
Right.
Yeah, it's Cohasset Hospitality. That is being made progress. And then the retail space that's in Harbor Cohasset condos, they're in just active negotiations, but can't disclose anything yet. But the idea sounds like that will also be coming online within
Is that the
months.
one on the other side of the street or?
Yeah, I
That's
think,
the only place there.
actually, no, there's two. There's one,
There's one over on Margin Street.
right, and I don't know which.
There is, okay.
Margin Street, and then the one that's directly on, what is it, Cove Street? What do we call it, street?
Could be Elm, could be Summer.
All those things.
Oh,
Yeah. So I mean, yes, it's taken a long time. I think with my hope, and it'd certainly be great for Cohasset if some of those things are opening up next summer. It'll create a very different complexion around the harbor for sure.
Less chain link would be nice.
Yeah, yeah. And did that answer the question? That was a good lead-in
Yes.
question. Are there other topics to bring before tonight's meeting?
Yeah, did you guys want a CSER update?
You asked about that. Please give us an update on CSCR.
So looking forward to the fall, we have a middle school program that's meeting twice a week, so we're able to do some projects during the fall. I had proposed to do some bathymetry, so it'd be interesting to look at those Army Corps. Did they make maps?
How do you spell that word again? Bathymetry?
Bathymetry?
Bathymetry,
It's like a bathysphere.
bathymetric.
So I was thinking it'd be fun to do it with lead lines and just the boat's depth finder. And we could go into shallower areas or anywhere else that is of interest, of use to people. If you want us to do that dinghy dock area, if that hasn't been done, we could do that. We always like to make our stuff meaningful. I thought it'd be fun to do anyway. So taking your requests on that. Also, since you all were mentioning the James Brook watershed, if there's anything you want us to do there, tromping around, mapping, we could do that either with my group or the ArcGIS class is starting up in a little bit later. They're starting in October 15th. So I believe there's still some wiggle room for curriculum for the ArcGIS class. So if there's requests that anybody has for anything that they'd like to have mapped, talk to me or Jack Buckley or Jeff about that.
On that topic, what is the likelihood or opportunity for what Jeff mentioned and actually having CSCR students do a story map about the topics Jeff talked about? Is that a
Yeah.
hypothetical, or is that pretty
That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
more likely than not?
Part of that ArcGIS class, they do story maps as one of the lessons, so to speak.
Mhm.
So they look for projects to do things,
And
Jack and Susan.
they've really enjoyed the collaboration with the Cohasset Conservation Trust. There's some really rich learning that's gone on during the summer with that. I'm always on the fringe walking through, but
It was a great group of students.
yeah.
Thank you.
So that's the ArcGIS stuff. Other
Okay.
questions about that?
No,
Okay.
That's great.
And then the eelgrass project that I've been running this summer was super interesting. In that the eelgrass did flower and we were able to collect seeds, and we have eelgrass in a tank right now. And we're not quite sure exactly what our next steps are. We did not get the funding from MPC, nor from, as far as I know, I haven't heard that I haven't, but I know the MPC one was supposed to be out in August. So no to that, MAPC, and the Fish and Wildlife one gets federal. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything from them, but I'm going to assume no, but nonetheless, we accomplished a lot of the things that I had on the goal for that grant.
Can I ask this, forgive my naivete, all the greenery that grows between Bailey's Creek and Briggs Harbor, is that all eelgrass? That,
Bailey's Creek and Briggs Harbor, no,
on the far side of the marina heading towards.
No. None of that is eelgrass.
None of that's eelgrass.
That is all salt marsh.
Okay, so salt marsh
So salt marsh grows on like chocolatey colored stuff called peat, which is
Okay.
made up of old salt marsh roots and
Okay.
detritus that lands there, and it's emergent, so you see it at almost all the tides.
Okay,
And at this time of year, it's turning a little bit yellowish,
Okay,
mustardy color.
thank you.
And then eelgrass is always, at least in New England, not in Washington State apparently. In New England, it's all underwater all the time. So you have to dive to see the eelgrass.
Can it grow above low tide?
No,
Okay, it only.
Not
only
here.
Water.
yeah, not here. It has to, I don't know whether it's because of the geese will eat it if they can get to it. Because we found that, we saw them doing that, like tip down. I was like, they're pulling it up. If they can reach it, they're gonna pull it up.
Okay,
So I don't know if it's that or the light or the drying out or something, but it's definitely under.
so it's the
Sub-
eelgrass that's on the sea floor.
Yeah.
Is acting as a resilience.
Of mitigates waves.
Yes.
It
Sort of
provides
breaking up
habitat, it
interaction.
holds the sediments in place with its rhizomes. And it is one of the best antidotes to climate change because it does what rainforests do and other plants. It photosynthesizes.
Out towards Glades, right?
Yeah.
That area,
Yeah. It used to be between Jack Rock and the channel, like a whole rich meadow of that, but that went away in between 2020 and 2022.
Inexplicably.
Still inexplicably, and even the experts don't seem to know where all the eelgrass has gone. So, but they're all very interested in restoration efforts, and they said, the DMF said, you know, at this point, our rate of success of restoration of eelgrass is 10%. So we said, if you just keep trying to restore it, every time you try to restore it, that will double the 10%. But I told the kids, I was like, 10%, that seems pretty low. Let's see what we can do, kids.
You said you seeded some. You got some to seed.
I have the seeds in the tank right now, yeah.
How do you plant the seeds?
So there's a few different ways, and us being us, we're gonna do some experimental ones. So the trick is, how do you put the seeds down without having them wash away? If they wash away and they still grow into eelgrass, I guess that's
fine.
still good, but we won't
You
know
can't
it, so it's a little less satisfying. So we would rather see if we can keep it in place. So we're thinking about, yeah, I have curtains from the house next door that got turned down that are holding my eelgrass seeds right now. I'm collecting things like burlap and upholstery materials and seeding materials from Home Depot, and clams.
Does it need sunlight to thrive?
Yes.
Okay.
So the coolest way that I've heard is that people in Connecticut have been collecting clams, gluing the seeds onto the clams, and then making the clams be the farmers,
Very interesting.
which is so joyful. That's the one I most want to do. But yeah, experiments continue, and we've had discoveries every single day of the summer. Pretty cool.
Wow.
Thank you for the update.
Great.
You're welcome.
Is there any other, thank you for that. Is there any other new business to bring tonight? Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second?
Thank
All in
you.
favor? Aye, meeting
Aye.
adjourned.
And thank you for
Grace, thank you. Thank you for
you.
joining
you.
us.
Well,
Thank you for
thanks for,
including updates of the sites. I think that's something I had requested a long time ago, so
Good.
I'm grateful that you've.
Oh, our next meeting is Thursday, November 20th. That's our next scheduled meeting. If we need something in the meantime because of a grant coming out or something, we'll let you know.
Good, good.
If anybody else needs a meeting in between now and then, let me know.
If the,
Uh,
we get the grant in October, wouldn't there be a kickoff meeting right away with the consultants?
Yeah.
We may need to meet before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Can
thank you.
sign us off. Grace, thanks for meeting.
Nice to see you.
Oh, thank you. Okay.